Love, trust, and heartbreak. This story has it all, but not in the way you'd expect. Imagine starting a new chapter of your life with someone you love, only for it to take a shocking and tragic turn. This is the story of a newlywed husband and his 52-year-old wife, whose seemingly happy union ended in a devastating act. It all began when she proudly shared their wedding picture on Facebook, a simple gesture of joy and celebration. But what should have been a moment to cherish became the trigger for something unthinkable. What could push someone to such extremes over a photo? Was it jealousy, anger, or something deeper that tore their lives apart? Stay tuned as we unravel the chilling truth behind this heart-wrenching tale. A story that reminds us how fragile relationships can be and how social media can sometimes reveal much more than we anticipate. Their love story seemed unusual yet beautiful. A 52-year-old woman finding happiness with a much younger man. Friends and family had mixed reactions, but she didn't care. For her, this was a fresh start, a chance to embrace love in a way she hadn't before. She was proud of her new life and wanted to share her happiness with the world. That's why she uploaded their wedding photo on Facebook, accompanied by a heartfelt caption about love and second chances. But something about that post stirred unexpected emotions. Her husband, who had seemed so deeply in love, grew distant. Friends noticed his demeanor change, but no one could have guessed the storm brewing inside. Was it insecurity? A secret he was hiding? As her post gained likes and comments, whispers of judgment from some corners surfaced. Comments about their age gap, their motives, their authenticity. Little did anyone know, this picture-perfect love story was heading toward an unimaginable twist. As days passed after the wedding photo was posted, the husband's behavior grew increasingly erratic. Friends who had attended the ceremony recalled his earlier excitement, but now his mood seemed heavy, his smiles forced. The wife, unaware of the depth of his inner turmoil, tried to brush off his sudden silence as stress from adjusting to married life. But behind closed doors, his frustration bubbled over. The Facebook post had drawn attention, not just from family and friends, but also from people from their pasts. Comments poured in, some filled with well wishes, others with subtle hints of disapproval. Old acquaintances, ex-partners, and even strangers seemed to have opinions. For the wife, it was a moment of validation, but for the husband, it felt like something else entirely. One night, during a tense conversation, a past grievance surfaced, something he had buried but could no longer ignore. As the couple tried to talk through it, their words only added fuel to the fire. What had started as a celebration of love was now spiraling into something darker, leaving everyone wondering what would happen next. The tension between the couple became impossible to ignore. The wife, still unaware of the storm brewing within her husband, tried to lighten the atmosphere, suggesting they revisit their wedding memories or plan a weekend getaway. But each attempt seemed to push him further into silence. He would glance at her, his expression a mix of anger and something she couldn't quite place, fear, regret, or perhaps guilt. The Facebook post, which she had forgotten about, remained a point of contention for him. He started fixating on specific comments, reading into words that weren't there. One night, she found him scrolling through the post, his face pale and his jaw clenched. When she asked what was wrong, he snapped, something he'd never done before. It wasn't just the post, it was everything it represented. Friends noticed his growing paranoia. He began avoiding calls and isolating himself. And then, one evening, everything came to a head. A simple conversation turned into an argument, voices rising until neighbors could hear. The air was heavy with emotions that had been bottled up for far too long. The wife tried to de-escalate, but his words revealed a darker side she had never seen. It was clear something irreversible was about to happen. As their argument spiraled out of control, the wife tried to calm things down, but her husband's words became harsher, more accusatory. He brought up things she couldn't understand, insecurities she never knew existed, moments from their past that didn't seem significant until now. Then, in the heat of the moment, he revealed a shocking detail. There was someone from his life who had seen the post, someone he never expected to resurface. This revelation caught her off guard. Could it be an ex? A family member who disapproved of their relationship? The wife pressed for answers, but his responses were fragmented, filled with frustration and fear. He claimed the post had exposed something he was desperately trying to keep hidden. She began piecing together fragments of his story, realizing that this wasn't just about jealousy or a simple misunderstanding. The stakes grew higher as the wife started to fear there was more at play. Who was this person from his past, and what kind of power did they hold over him? As the night wore on, the house grew eerily quiet, the tension thicker than ever. She could sense that the worst was yet to come, but nothing could prepare her for what would happen next. As the night stretched on, the wife decided she couldn't let the tension linger any longer. She sat her husband down, determined to get to the root of his fears. At first, he avoided her gaze, his hands fidgeting nervously, but eventually, his words spilled out. He confessed that someone he had a painful history with had seen their wedding photo, the person he had been trying to escape by starting over. This individual knew secrets about him he hadn't even shared with his wife, and the fear of them resurfacing had been eating him alive. The wife, though shaken, reassured him that they could face whatever it was together. For a moment, her calmness seemed to work. But then the doorbell rang. The unexpected visitor, a face from his past, changed everything. As the wife watched, confused, her husband's demeanor shifted entirely. The visitor's presence reignited emotions he thought he buried, and suddenly the situation escalated. In the chaotic moments that followed, truths were revealed that neither of them had anticipated. The mysterious figure wasn't a threat after all, but someone seeking closure for a shared history of pain. The husband's reaction had been driven by guilt and fear rather than reality. The wife, heartbroken by the depth of his struggles, realized how much this unresolved past had controlled their present. Though the visitor left peacefully, the emotional toll had already taken its toll. As the couple sat in silence, they both understood that the cracks in their relationship ran deeper than they had imagined. And while they had survived the night, the question lingered. Could their marriage survive the weight of everything that had been uncovered? The silence that filled the room was heavy, but it gave both of them time to reflect. The husband, overwhelmed by the weight of his past, finally admitted he had let his fears control him. He apologized for his behavior, for shutting her out when she only wanted to help. The wife, though hurt, could see the vulnerability in his eyes. She knew this was more than just about the Facebook post. It was about the baggage he had carried into their relationship, baggage he had never fully unpacked. In the days that followed, they began to rebuild. They sought help, both individually and together, to address the pain and insecurities that had threatened to tear them apart. The wedding picture, once a symbol of joy and then conflict, became a reminder of the importance of communication and trust. Their story, though far from perfect, became a testament to the power of facing the truth and healing together.